jumping on in, but of course, all of our attention right now on hurricane season, right? The peak is fast approaching, and the rising cost of materials. Are you kidding me? Homeowners procrastinating on hurricane preparedness. Well, a new insurance industry report finds that the cost is a major barrier for homeowners, leaving 30% unprepared for hurricane season. Yeah, here to expand on this issue, Fox Business Contributor Phil Flynn. Phil, always great to see you, but between inflation, tariffs, the cost of everything seeming to go up, how are homeowners even supposed to kind of get a handle on this and prepare?
It's really difficult, especially in Florida, as you know, where they've seen their insurance costs go up like triple the national average. And while those premiums have leveled out, let's face it, a lot of people just can't afford it. They're relying on doing things around the house to prepare for hurricane season, fix their windows, fix the roofs. And those are things you need to focus on. But sadly, I'm afraid that so many people in Florida are not prepared financially. And heaven forbid, if they do get a tough storm, it's going to be really difficult for them to come back.
Phil, the one thing that I'm really curious about is insurance, because the price, it seems to me, and I hear reports, all the time about how the price of insuring your home from one year to the next, from one hurricane season to the next, that's also like really increasing, right?
It really is. It's actually tripled. I think in Florida for $300,000 house, I mean, your cost to insure is like over $5,000 a year. And for more comprehensive coverage, it can go as high as $10,000. And there's a lot of homes in Florida that are even more expensive than that. And there's a lot of people in Florida that are retirees, and they forego insurance because they just can't afford it. But yet they're taking a huge gamble because when these storms come in, financially they're going to be very difficult.
That is amazing. Just to reiterate what you said, a $300,000 home could possibly need homeowners insurance of $10,000 to insure for a hurricane season. That's unbelievable to me. And Phil, the other thing real quick that I want to mention is the fact that you think of if a hurricane does do damage to your home, the cost of repairing your home and the materials is also increasing.
It is. If you just look at, what it would have cost to build a $300,000 home a few years ago, that same home could be pushing $1 million. I mean, that's how much we've seen the cost of materials go up. The cost of lumber, it surged to record highs before pulling back. Drywall, the price of copper, which is very important in electricity, that's going to record highs. So it just becomes more and more expensive. Not to mention that the labor, there's not as many people in the trades, so the cost of labor has gone up as well. And if you get into a hot area like Florida when they're building, it's going to be very hard to find people to do the work. That's why in Florida you have to be very careful because there's a lot of fraud when it comes to contractors and things like that. And believe it or not, that ends up going back into your insurance premium because a lot of times when they come in and they don't do the job that they were paid to do, that's going to come down on the bottom line. And it's going to hurt and make insurance more expensive.
Oh my gosh. All right, Phil, last question for you, because I'm trying to think about, I have a twin brother actually that lives in Florida who's going to be purchasing a home here much sooner than later. Is there anything that you can do to maybe buffer against some of those costs, or anything that you can do to maybe cushion the costs that you're aware of?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely reach out to the local authorities. Sometimes they can give you some ideas. Reach out to the insurance companies and do things that you can go to an insurance company and say, hey, listen, what can I do to lower your risk? What if I put in some special windows or some special doors? And a lot of times the insurance company themselves will try to find a better way. But the other thing is, too, that people don't think about in these storms is auto insurance. And a lot of times in these storms, they're underinsured. They don't have comprehensive coverage. So that's another thing that you may want to focus on ahead of hurricane season.
Oh, what a great idea. Phil, I could literally talk to you for like the next hour about all this stuff, because I know we could do a deep dive in this with our friends and family in Florida. All right, that'll be a lot of time on that's for sure. You'll be working overtime for me. Phil, thank you so much just for your insight, your perspective on the Fox Business Network. We always appreciate it. And again,
thank you.
Come back and join us on Fox Weather anytime.